Hello again. So this is kind of part 2 of my videos for today. This is where I kind of want to go more into my thought process of kind of sharing with you what's on my mind, what I've been looking at in the news, what's been happening, and a little less structured, a little less of like, here's my topic for today, but more of just, hey, here's what's going on, let me talk about it. So we've had all these wonderful, amazing pro-life laws passed by different states, and some of them are already being challenged in the courts, but others haven't yet, or the challenges are coming. There's going to be appeals. There's going to be a whole process of going through courts. There's going to be injunctions. There's going to be all kinds of things. It's not over. It's just getting started. But I want to talk about 2 of my favorite recent pro-life bills, and one is in Missouri. Now I want to talk about this one first. So Missouri's bill, okay, I want to make something really clear. I know there's been controversy recently with their Missouri's last abortion facility, the Planned Parenthood in St. Louis. It's the only abortion facility currently in Missouri, and it should have been shut down. It was supposed to have been shut down because it had violated regulations for abortion facilities. It had violated health codes. It had failed health inspections. They were supposed to be shut down, and they said, please don't shut us down. And the court said, okay, fine, or the Department of Health said, fine, you follow these 3 things and we won't shut you down. And one of those 3 things has to do with administering pelvic exams prior to an abortion, which the clinic claims is unnecessary and unethical because it is unnecessary. And so that is a controversy right now. I do want to clarify on that the regulations that I found regarding pelvic exams and abortions say 1 pelvic exam, not 2 like some articles. Some articles are claiming they have to have 2 pelvic exams, but the regulations, the actual text of the regulations does not support that. So I don't know if somebody from the health department in Missouri was misquoting the regulation or if it's being misunderstood, but it doesn't seem like that's actually in there. There is a requirement for giving a pelvic exam prior to an abortion, but I think that's separate from the idea of, oh, you have to have one and then another one 72 hours later. So that does not seem to be supported by the regulations. But what I'm here to talk about today is actually not that. So that is a regulation a rule written by the Missouri Department of Health. It is not a statewide law. It is not a statute. So I'm talking about the law that was passed in Missouri to ban abortion. Now, what I love about this law is that it is designed to fail. Yes, it's designed to fail. Now, that doesn't mean it's designed to completely fall apart, but it is designed that if one part of the law is struck down, the rest of the law stays in effect. So it's kind of like compartmentalized. If you almost think about it like a rocket going up into space, like a space shuttle going up, you have all these stages that are designed to, when they're no longer needed, fall apart. And that's kind of how this bill is designed, is as this law launches towards going into effect, and different, and the courts are picking at it and everybody's picking at it, if they manage to get one piece off, it doesn't ruin the whole thing. Like it's designed to come apart. And so the law actually contains a total ban on abortion. However, most people aren't talking about that because it's kind of understood that will not go into effect until Roe v. Wade is overturned. And that's actually how it's set up, is it's a trigger ban. So if and when Roe v. Wade is overturned, Missouri will completely ban abortion just like that. Now, there are along the way, there's the heartbeat, there's there's all these different gestational limits in this bill, so that if one of them is struck down, then we go to the next one up and the next one up, which I think is really awesome because it really helps us protect as many babies as we can. There's always this debate in the pro-life movement about personhood bills, where we say the preborn child's a person from conception, full stop, you can't abort them at any time for any reason, not an issue. It's just full stop, they're a person, that's it. And a lot of people in the pro-life movement love this idea because that's what we want. We want all preborn children to be protected. However, the chances of passing a bill like that and enforcing it and all of those things are very slim. So Instead, we have incremental legislation. And a lot of pro-life people get frustrated with incremental legislation because it doesn't protect every single baby. There are exceptions in incremental legislation. And those exceptions do not mean that we think abortion is okay in those situations. What they mean is we are currently, under the current Supreme Court precedent, we are unable to protect every single child. So we're going to protect as many as we can. And that's what I love about the Missouri bill, is it really is designed that way. It's designed to protect as many children as we can. If we cannot protect all of them, then we're going to at least protect this many. And if we can't protect this many, then at least this many. And if not this many, then this many. And it gets smaller. And so we're going to protect the maximum number that we can, is the idea. And if that's all of them, awesome. If it's not all of them, well, it's better than none. So I wanted to kind of highlight Missouri's bill, or Missouri law, because it was passed into law, and we're just waiting on courts and all those kinds of things for it to go into effect. But once that goes into effect, if, it will be challenged, but if it wasn't challenged, if the courts let it through, then it would close that last abortion facility for sure, that is in St. Louis. So prayers for that, but we know it's going to go through the courts, but I think it is also designed to withstand those court challenges. The other one that I wanted to talk about is Georgia. I love Georgia. So Georgia was one of the earlier heartbeat bills that we started hearing about this year. Ohio was earlier, obviously, but Georgia was kind of part of this little trend of heartbeat bills, trend of pro-life laws. And so I wanted to talk about that really quickly. So what I love about the Georgia bill is it answers one of the kind of age-old challenges that the pro-choice movement has made against pro-lifers, which is if you ban abortion and you don't let the woman, you're not letting the woman choose an abortion, then the guy shouldn't be able to get off the hook either. And the pro-lifers have always said, sure, that sounds great. And so the Georgia bill really, encapsulates that, or, exemplifies that. That attitude, because it allows the pregnant woman to sue for child support while she is pregnant, and to receive child support to cover her or at least cover a portion. It depends on, there's factors that determine how much you can actually sue for, but that can cover part of her health expenses, making the guy step up. Now, because what we've seen since abortion was legalized, and even prior to that point, what we've seen is guys using abortion to get out of having to pay child support, or get out of having to be involved in this child's life. They're kind of using it to get out of that responsibility. And so what this does is it kind of gives women another choice, where it's not like, oh, well, if I have this baby, then I gotta chase him down for child support. It's like, no, I can get child support from him right now. Instead of him just paying for the abortion and saying, go deal with it, I can make him actually pay for the medical expenses and actually support me and this child while I'm pregnant, even if we're not together as a couple anymore. So I think that's awesome. I think that really helps protect women and hold men responsible for, their actions and decisions as well. So those are the two ones I really wanted to highlight, and there's going to be more news and more legislation. And I just wanted to kind of bring those two bills to y'all's attention and help you understand a little bit better what they do. The one thing I want to really emphasize is that every single bill that has been passed recently, in fact, like all the heartbeat bills that have passed, they all include an exception for when the mother's life is in danger. So if you're talking to somebody and they're saying women are going to die, no. Okay, if a woman's life is in danger, doctors are able to intervene. Now, abortion is not medically necessary to save a woman's life pretty much ever, but whatever the doctors need to do in order to save that woman's life, they can do under this law. So that's kind of the implication here. So there's that, and there's also the fact that none of these laws would criminalize the woman. None of those laws would put the woman in prison. That's the other thing to understand. If somebody's telling you that women are going to go to jail for miscarriages, no. Like, most of these bills are only punishing the abortionist, and some of them are not even really punishing the abortionist all that much. But none of them are punishing the woman. Okay, so I want that to be really clear when you're talking to your friends and family about these bills. If these topics do come up, none of them punish the woman, and all of them include an exception for when the mother's life is in danger. So thank you so much for tuning in for a second time today. This is Lifetime with Katie, and I'll see y'all next time, whenever that may be.